and now one member in his audience, I suppose, probably a nun, asks, "You're always saying that this birth must take place in me, that the Son must be born in me," the birth of the Son in the human soul. That's, again, it's an allegorical interpretation of Scripture, the only begotten Son. Somebody then asks, "Well, now, can you please tell me how I might recognize that this birth has actually happened? How do I know that when it happens or that it has happened? The birth, or we call it the awakening sometimes." "Certainly, there are 3 ways, and I shall now tell you one of them. I am often asked if it is possible for someone to advance so far that neither time, multiplicity, nor matter are obstacles to them anymore. Yes, indeed. When this birth has truly taken place in you, then no creatures can hinder you anymore. Rather, they all point you to God and to this birth. Take lightning as an analogy." He now uses this analogy, he himself calls it analogy, of lightning, and he says, I don't actually know whether that's true or not, probably is, or whether it's just medieval perception, doesn't really matter, but it probably is true, that lightning immediately turns whatever it strikes, whether tree, beast or man, towards itself. If a tree had 1,000 leaves, they would all turn their right side towards the flash. So perhaps lightning has a magnetic attraction, that kind. So all the leaves, when it strikes a tree, turn towards it. But this is just an analogy. See, that is how it is for all those for whom this birth has already taken place. They are swiftly turned to this birth in whatever may be happening to them at the time, however coarse it may be. Now, important statement follows now. What was previously an obstacle to you is now a great help. Your face is fully turned to this birth. Anything that before would have been an obstacle now deepens your state. That may also sound a little bit familiar. You may have heard it before somewhere else. Indeed, in everything that you see or hear, whatever it may be, in all things you can receive nothing but this birth. All things become pure God to you, for in all things you see nothing but God. Just as when someone looks for a long time into the sun, whatever they look at subsequently, the image of the sun shall always appear. Whenever you do not see God and do not see Him in each and everything, then you do not have this birth. So no matter what happens to you, it can only strengthen this inner birth. It can only intensify the awakening. Things that before would have upset you, difficult people, challenging situations, now make you more present, as you have surrendered the otherwise habitual resistance patterns that keep the ego going, that keep the ego strong. And as soon as anything happens, you're aligned with it. You don't oppose it internally, and that deepens your state.